great session for you guys. So, Tesla owners of Silicon Valley have known Milad for the last 2 years. Ex-Tesla employee, realized some of the issues that owners are experiencing with the car. So he started with his partners, Accelerate. And Accelerate has been the pioneer of extended warranties for Teslas. And now they're here to announce 2 awesome new products and services. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Milad and the great Burjette Racine, who is our Chief Content Strategist, who will interview Milad. So I'll take it away.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing? You enjoying the day? Okay, so how far did you guys all come from? Everybody from outside California? Oh, a few hands, very good. Nevada?
Nice.
Washington? Yeah, there you go.
Foreign country? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Nice.
All right, so I'm here with Milad, who's becoming a friend. We did this last year as well.
We did. We're getting along very well.
Milad, all right, let me ask you guys a question. Who here thinks that insurance is sexy? Yay! I do too, and so does Milad, and we're going to talk about exactly why. So Milad, you were the first Tesla employee hired in state of Texas, right? Back in 2011?
Back in 2011. We're the 3rd retail store of the new model, right? The gallery locations in Texas. So super early, very startup.
Yeah. And then you started the global used vehicle and trade-in business.
I did. That was in 2014 when people needed to trade in their vehicles, and we had to answer yes.
Yes, and now you're the COO of Accelerate.
Absolutely.
Accelerate, fun fact before we start, you drove the first Model S ever made, the Alpha model.
Yeah, the Alpha Model S, which is, I think, maybe still sitting at the Peterson Museum, perhaps. And the first Model X, the Alpha. That was and we really put those cars together kind of by hand. I mean, 100%. So, but it was a cool experience.
Yeah. I've got a Lego version of that. So let's talk about the sexy stuff. So warranty, financing, leasing, all that stuff. Tell us about what is Accelerate? What does it do? Why should I, as an EV driver, whether I'm current or just looking at EVs, why should I care? Why can't I just get the car and drive off into the sunset?
Yeah, so, well, Accelerate started in 2014, and we started as a third-party lessor for Tesla. And that's what we still do to our core today, right? We do a lot of commercial leasing and financing for Tesla, and we work with them directly. And a few years ago, I say 4 or 5 years ago now, we created XCare, which is an extended warranty specifically designed for Tesla and every other battery electric vehicle in the market. What was important for that is we knew that we saw a growing number of vehicles that were coming out of, that were ending up in dealer lots, right? In fact, in the independent world, in the used car market world, it went from a couple hundred to a few thousand almost overnight. Dealers didn't necessarily know how to sell it. And there was a growing concern with people that wanted to get into the vehicle, but were hesitant because, you don't know, right? The level of unknown. I don't know how this vehicle works. I don't know what can go wrong because of that. I don't know anybody around me that owns these vehicles. And with my experience at the used car team, we had to add on a warranty just to give that trust back to the customer and tell them, okay, well, this will come with another warranty, and that's when that changed the sales volume. So the point of XCare was, all right, well, if we're going to do this, let's do this differently. Let's design this differently. Let's treat it differently. Let's be different for the sake of being better, and really innovate in an area that is very legacy.
So let's talk a little bit about what Tesla provides out of the gate. So if you get a Tesla new versus used, right? So you get a Tesla new, you have certain warranties. Now, my understanding is the battery is separate. So can you explain that and then explain how you guys dovetail in?
Yeah, so the factory warranty is 4-year, 50,000 on the cars. And the battery warranty is a separate 8-year warranty on that vehicle. And one of the things is, so when we started XCare 4 years ago, We originally, it was an extension of that, essentially that 4-year 50. So we, where it was everything, most of everything minus the battery and the drive unit. And we were always working towards that, which is awesome now because 2 weeks ago, specifically before this event, which we had to fast track, is we launched battery and drive unit. So now you can actually get a battery and drive unit warranty along with the rest of the vehicle for 7-8 years past the factory 8-year, right? So this really unleashes quite a bit. We are, to our understanding, I think we're the first where you don't have to deal with independent shops. You still service your car through Tesla, and we're before the OEMs, right? I mean, even through Tesla, there's no option out there. So we really think that the battery and drive unit warranty extension is really going to change the game for a lot of people that are either in a car right now that are trying to own the vehicle for many years to come, or you're trying to buy a used car now that is, say, 6 or 7 years old, and you need that.
Yeah, and just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, back in, was it 10 years ago, a Model S battery cost 30 grand to replace. 30 grand. I mean, that's somebody's salary, and maybe not in Silicon Valley, but it's somebody's salary somewhere.
Yeah, so exactly. It was about $33,000 back in 2013. And for the record, no one at Tesla used to say this to anybody because we didn't want to scare anybody for how much that would cost. But that same battery pack today costs $12,000 to $13,000, right? So that's what we're looking at. At Accelerate, we're trying to solve the problems of tomorrow, not to try to be reactionary of the problems that already exist. So what we understand is, okay, so let's look at a Model 3 or Model Y with a 2170 battery. That's about $17,000 to replace. Now, what is that battery going to cost in 10 years from now? Well, we know what happened 10 years prior. And we look at this information and say, all right, well, the pace of technology, the supply chain is changing. 2 years ago, we were arguing, do we have the materials needed to ramp up battery production at the scale of what we're trying to accomplish overall as an industry? And now it seems like, well, when we go look for it, it's way more abundant than we originally thought, and that therefore drives the cost down, which we're still in this ramp-up phase. So we're still trending towards that direction. And based on this information, we know where this is going because we know where we've been. And because of that, we were able to release battery and drive-in.
But there's a bigger concept here, right? The bigger concept and is the bigger mission of Accelerate, which is to increase EV adoption in society and kind of, do that. We all talk about the transition to renewable energy, have a cleaner environment, cleaner air, and this is all part of it. So I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about that grander mission.
Yeah, absolutely. All of us at Accelerate, we always, our main driver is to get more butts in EV seats. Everything we do is to drive adoption. This time last year, we were at, say, like 3 to 6% EV adoption of new vehicles being delivered. Now we're 8 to 10%, somewhere around there. But the real challenges are going to come in a few years, hopefully less than 4 or 5, where it's 25%. And that introduces a different set of problems, right? So what I think about, and what KJ also thinks about as CEO and founder of Accelerate, what we always talk about is, all right, there's going to be a family out there that stretches their dollars to get a used, say, $24,000 Model 3, right? That's a few years old. And if they want to try to make that decision, but if you don't have $15,000, $20,000 laying around just in case something were to happen, then that might be a little bit hesitant, right? You might say, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't try to invest in that. We're trying to solve that problem, right? Give you that peace of mind to, okay, well, now I know that if something does occur, I'm not going to have to pay that out, or I don't even have that money to even try, right? So that's where we come in. And that, to us, that's how we get someone to say not yet to, okay, I'm ready to jump in, because we got to get there, right? We have to all do our own parts, and it's not just with us at Accelerate; it's all of our partners as well, right? We all work together very closely to make sure we make it easier for people to jump into an electric vehicle, whether that is, hey, I'm a business owner and I need to lease this vehicle. I need flexibility on how to, say, write this car down and depreciate it, or I want to lease a car and buy the car at the end of term, or I need a warranty, right? We're focusing on those types of problems to make it easier to jump in or stay in the car for many years to come.
So does Elon realize what you're doing? Does he send you a gift basket every Christmas?
No, I'm still reaching out to his secretary about that, if she's around.
I think his secretary's running Twitter. But let's talk about your growth. You guys doubled, right?
Oh yeah, and it's
In
not
growth?
really surprising, right? Because what we look at is what happened 4 years ago today, right? So 4 years ago is when we were when the entire EV space was ramping up production and delivering in incredibly high volumes. So we're kind of directly correlated to that with a 4-year lag, right? Why is 4 years important? Is because that's when your warranty expires, right, for most vehicles. Most EVs are pretty much that 4-year, 50. Some have that 3-year. A couple have a 6-year. But generally speaking, it's right around there, right? And for all the other non-Tesla EVs out there, they're ramping up now as we speak. So 4 years from today, it's going to be a totally different scenario. But yeah, we have now thousands of people across the country that have XCare, and we're just seeing an unprecedented amount of level of demand. Not just because there's a growing number of population of people out there that are realizing this problem in front of their eyes, but also now that we have battery and drive unit, right? Like I said, it unleashes that solution that they probably didn't even know they had.
Yeah. And also, I'm someone who used to drive a gasoline-powered car for a long time. I had a manual speed Honda Prelude, and I would do the oil change, right? And you have the maintenance every so often. And so you do have to maintain it. Now, driving a Tesla, it's kind of like having your smartphone always turned on. It's crazy how you just don't think about maintenance. So the key there is, with my Prelude, I would have most of the time smaller outlays. Like an oil change would be, I don't know, $50, right? Your half-year maintenance, whatever, would be 120, 150. When I replaced my entire clutch system, the transmission, that was close to $3,000. So that was a bigger price ticket. And I didn't have insurance for any of that. So now with Teslas, with these higher-end EVs, the likelihood that something is going to go wrong or that you need to maintain it is lower. So that's where this comes in. I think, to me, it would be worth it to pay the $3,000 or whatever it is for insurance, knowing that I've got that peace of mind. But if something does happen, and you can speak to the price points, it's just a larger outlay.
Yeah, exactly. And we're very careful about not selling based on fear, right? We all drive Teslas. I myself, former employee, most of us, we all drive many, many Teslas. It's not to say that something inevitably bad will occur. And the frequency of when you see service is significantly lower than any other gasoline counterpart. However, in the words of Elon, the best service is no service, but things do happen. And when they do happen, the cost per visit is way higher than that of a normal car. There's no preventative maintenance here. Like, for instance, as an example, there's nothing you can do to your MCU, your main touchscreen in your car, to prevent it from failing, for the most part. I mean, if it happens, it happens, and if it does, it's a couple $1,000s. So for us, we see an average service visit roughly around, and it's important to be transparent and objective about this. So just factual information, we see about $1,200 per visit. That's what we see with our members. Now, are those visits frequent? Absolutely not, right? But if you have a 6 or 7 year term, can that happen 2 or 3 times throughout those years? Possibly, right? Is it probable? Maybe, maybe not, maybe so. And everyone sees different issues, right? Not everyone has, when you plug in your car doesn't charge, right? But can it happen? Of course it can happen, right? So it is one of those things where this gives you that peace of mind, and if you know that every average repair is $1,200 to $2,000, the average American doesn't just have thousands of dollars laying around to just expendable income to be purchasing these types of issues, right? And for me, what I worry about is, if you're really trying to get down to the normal person, right, and the normal American family out there, then you need to be able to give them, you really need to give them the peace of mind. So if something does happen, they don't have some sort of regret of purchasing, because if they had to pay out of pocket, you say you bought a brand new car, or say you bought a new car and it was only 6 years old, and all of a sudden you have a $3,000 bill for something that happened, and it's an electronic component, and you're like, wait a second, I thought these cars have no service. Are you going to buy an EV again? And we want to make sure that those people don't end up in that situation. And like I said, just kind of help these people out, right? And we are part of the community, right? So we really think and walk experience backwards of what do we want to see as owners? What do we really care about? And that's what we create for all of you and everyone out there.
So I want to talk a little bit about the latest very exciting things that you guys have to share. One is the payment card, and the other one is Cybertruck. So before we talk about Cybertruck, we all want to talk about Cybertruck. Tell us about why you guys felt like people needed an actual card for the payment, what drove that, how challenging it was to get there, and how you think how a little card like that is gonna change the experience.
Yeah, so this is totally innovative in a lot of ways, because it doesn't really exist out there. So, an insurance product, which is, I guess, in a warranty, right? An insurance product, there's no immediate level of satisfaction. First of all, I want to start with that. There's no immediate level of satisfaction. You get this contract that is many, many, many pages long that you and your lawyer might read through or something like that, but there's nothing there. And with Tesla and the automated experience, right, of a direct-to-consumer service model, we wanted to be able to streamline the payment processing experience. So what we're working on here in the next few months is being able to give, and it doesn't matter when you purchase Xcare, so if anyone out there already owns Xcare, you'll be a part of this. You'll get a credit card that has your name on it, that's branded Xcare, both digital and physical, right? That you'll be able, so instead of us having to pay the service center directly, we'll just top up your card and you just pay for your service. And once again, this goes back to the normal person. Like right now, for me, or for, I think a lot of other people out there currently today, this is a great opportunity to pay for service and then get reimbursed because you get points and like, hey, I'm playing the game. But for someone out there that might not have a large credit limit or is already in credit card debt and they don't want to add on to that, it's compounding, this is an important fact, right? Getting to that normal, how do we help everybody here? So it streamlines the payment process, and it also just gives it a face, right? It's something tangible. It's something you can have, it's something you can use, and it streamlines the payment processing so you can have that part of your Tesla app. It's automatic. And something you can actually hold in your hand that shows that you're part of this community.
What I really like is, when I did replace my transmission on the Prelude, I had to put down the 2,500 or whatever it was on my credit card. So what you're doing is you're not only streamlining that process, right? So I don't have to worry about putting it on my card and paying that extra percentage, which is actually, so I'm paying more than the 2,500 if I don't pay it the next month. So that, exactly. I think that is the winning ticket right there.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about Cybertruck.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Cybertruck and a lot of cool things that they're doing on the leasing side. I think that's really important. So with Cybertruck, here's what we expect. We expect a lot of people out there, a lot of business owners that are probably going to upfit these cars, whether you're using it as a work truck or whatnot, or you just like modifying your cars. I mean, look at all of these right here. And you want to be able to roll that into your payment. So we're working on a Cybertruck upfit program where it'll allow you to roll that cost in so you don't have to pay that as a difference, right? So say there's maybe $10,000 of modifications you're going to do to that Cybertruck, you'll be able to roll that into the lease payment itself so you don't have to separate the car versus all these modifications that I need to get done, which would be capital expenditure if you're using it for your business. Now, we're first going to focus really strong on the commercial side of that because we do think there's a lot of applications there for business owners that are probably wanting to get that Cybertruck. Some other cool thing is we're working with our partners at Standard Fleet right now, who's in the crowd, and that are going to be able to provide that kind of a fleet suite for people to help manage their fleets a little bit better, right? And that's something really exciting because once again, we're really attacking that commercial side. We do think a lot of people are going to be buying these Cybertrucks in bulk as well, and they need a better way to kind of manage those vehicles. But yeah, so we're starting with the commercial side and the Cybertruck end, which we're pretty excited about. And another thing I think is really important is, and maybe not a lot of people probably not know this, but currently in these last 3 years, you haven't been able to buy your car after the lease is up, right? With Tesla specifically. So we're going to be opening that up where, yeah, you'll be able to buy your car at the end of lease. You know, I think we all understand that when FSD becomes readily available in all of our cars, as Elon mentions all the time, the value proposition for these vehicles shoots up. So if you're leasing your car because, one, you're a business owner and you need to lease a car because it's better for the accounting perspective, do you want to lose out on that opportunity if and when that happens during that time? And this gives an option to people to say, well, okay, well, if that happens during my term, I have an opportunity to buy it, right? Because I want to buy it because the value proposition is now differently. So really giving freedom of option and choice to people is incredibly important. And we're really expanding this on a lot of different ends. And we're not just doing this ourselves. You know, we're as far as partnerships go, we're working with a lot of different people that are achieving in different areas, right? I think as a whole, if you look at everything here, you know, we're a lot stronger together than we are apart. So working with people like Tenant to supply xCare to their customers and being able to roll it in for their financing. If you're, say, a normal day consumer and you want to just finance the car through them, then you have the ability to have xCare on that as well. So we're doing a lot of different things in these next few years that I think is really exciting to help people, once again, drive adoption, get more butts in EV seats, because that's our core.
Fantastic. So I think we're out of time, Milad. Thank you so much. And for those of you who want to talk to Milad and his team, the Accelerate tent is just over there somewhere. You'll find it.
Just in that general direction.
It's on this field.
Well, I appreciate everybody. Yeah, come by and talk to us. If you feel like this use case applies to you, I think we can help a lot of people out.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brigitte.